Welcome back to lesson 4. This is a free art curriculum series. It's a playlist on my YouTube channel walking you through how to teach art education to kindergartners. The next 2 lessons in this series will be 4.2 will be the slideshow, and 4.3 will be for the child. This is for the adults, just walking you through everything, all the parts to hit on. So normally I teach public school and there's about 24 kindergartners in the class, and I have 40 minutes to get through all of this. And again, we review every class, so I don't have to hit on all of it. I could catch them the next class, but I only see them about 35 times in a school year, usually once a week. And for kindergartners, they have a 5-minute attention span and they've forgotten a lot by the next week. So I always try to work stuff in and review as best I can. So the first lesson they had was dots. That was lesson 2. Dashes was lesson 3. And now we're moving on to long lines. So that dots evolved to dashes, which are the shortest line. Now we're going to make long lines of various sizes and lengths. So line is one of the 7 elements of art. And the 7 elements of art are like ingredients. If you take like eggs, flour, water, you can make this. If you take eggs, flour, water, you can make that. So they're like building blocks for art, that in all art we can find some form of the use of line. So line is very important, and it's one of the big ones that we focus on in kindergarten. Lines are everything, everywhere, all the time. They make up numbers, letters, shapes. We can't write our name without lines. We can't do math without lines. We can't draw shapes without lines. And this is usually where we do a little shape hunt or a line hunt. So we check the bottoms of our shoes. Oh my goodness, there's lines on the bottom of our shoe. We look at the ceiling, we look at the floor, we look at the walls, we look at the door. If you are not in a classroom setting and it wouldn't cause total chaos, you can actually have time to walk around the room and find as many lines as you can. So that could be fun, but if you're in a classroom setting, you could lose a lot of time just letting them free for all throughout the room and then trying to gather them back at the carpet. So usually we just stay in our spot and look with our eyes and find lines, and I point them out to them. And this is where we would do like the slideshow, and we look at animals have lines on their body, and plants have lines, and spiders make webs that are made of lines, and we look at all kinds of lines. And we just talk about that lines are an important ingredient. Some lines have names like zigzag and some do not. So that's the difference between organic and geometric lines. Organic lines are free flowing. They don't necessarily have a name. Geometric lines have very specific names. The difference between curvilinear and linear. It is very simple at the kindergarten level. It's just like zigzag. Kids in California know what a zigzag is. Kids in Massachusetts know what a zigzag line is. It's repeatable. Where a scribble is not repeatable. Like I probably couldn't draw the same scribble over and over and over again without a lot of effort, where I could draw a zigzag over and over again because it has a name. It's very specific versus if I drizzled, lines on a paper with a bottle, I just poured lines of paint, I could probably never repeat that the same way. We talk about that scribbles aren't bad. Scribbles are just like free flowing and expressive. We do the line song. This is about 2.5 minutes. It's very catchy, very fun, by Scratch Garden. It's on YouTube. It's free. For a book, I usually do Lines That Wiggle. It's about a 3-minute read, very short, sweet. Everything is art, even lines. My grandmother can make lines. A 3-year-old can make lines. Lines are for everybody. His art is everything for everybody all the time. I am art. You are art. We are art. Everything's art. Long line painting is what we usually do with the remainder of the class period, as I reintroduce the paints because they may have forgotten because I haven't seen them in a week. And then they do a long line painting. So the next video, 4.2, in this playlist on YouTube will be the example of the slideshow. And then for the kids, an example of this, but I'll do an example of this for the adults right now to walk you through. So if you want to teach it yourself. So we talk about The paintbrush, again, we reintroduce it. We talk about it all the time. I end up just hanging up these posters in the classroom and then just reference them. But in the beginning of kindergarten, I take out the handout a lot and remind them how we should care for our paintbrush, that it's a tool, not a toy. And if all the bristles fall out of our brush, then we can't paint anymore. We'll have to switch to something else. That we don't want our paintbrush to look like an octopus, that it should have one color and the bristles all be in like a line and be straight and pointy. So we just like review this often. This is on my Teachers Paid Teachers store under the same name, Art Teacher Maven. So you can just print these and have them. So the table's already set up with water and paint. While they were listening to the book or listening to the song, I like walk around and put paper out. I put out the paints, change the water. We talk about waking up the colors, that each color has its own bedroom, that this is a palette, a house, and these are rooms, and the red has its own room. And it can be hard to get kindergartners to go all the way across and make a long line. So we talk about making a dot and making a dot, and then we're going to connect the dots. And I start off doing a few with them, and then they're going to make up some lines at the end. So an easy way to start is just a flat line, a horizontal line. This is a line that has a name. So this is pretty directed, so there's not like a time on this. It's just cleaning our brush, picking our colors. They don't have to pick the same colors as me. Dot and a dot, and we're going to connect them. We're going to swim all the way across the swimming pool. Let's do a wavy line. This is a line with a name. Then rinse the brush really well, swishing and dragging. Swish, swish, drag, drag. Go to a new color. A dot and a dot, and then we'll try a zig and a zag. And a zig and a zag. And we're swimming. We're going to reach the other side of the swimming pool. And sometimes I'll play with them, like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to quit. And then they cheer me on and continue. I continue to go. Swimming across my paper. Swim, 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 get across my paper. There we go. Rinse my brush really well. Go to a new color. Let's do a dotted line. Remember when we painted dots in our first lesson together? So I try to remind them back to the skills and try to make connections from the old lessons to the new lessons. Especially in September, they're so new to school, they're just like forgetful. Rinsing my brush, wiping it on the side. Beautiful brown. I love brown. I love black. All the colors are important and beautiful. Let's do a long dash line. Dashes are the shortest expression of line. I'm going to try to go through as many lines with names as I can remember. I usually at this point blank out and forget them. So I have them as a poster on the wall or on the slideshow. And then I have them invent lines for the rest of the paper. So I tell them to pick their favorite letter of the alphabet. I'm going to do A for art class. A, and it's connected. Otherwise, it's just a letter A. So to make it a line, we got to connect them. So this is an invented line. It doesn't have a name. Clean my brush. Have them pick their favorite number and swim across the paper. Number 3, number 3, number 3. Oh, I can't do it anymore. Then they usually cheer me on to continue. Number 3, number 3. Should I quit there? Nope, got to go all the way to the other side. Building up that muscle to stick with it. to not give up. Rinse my brush really well. Choose a number or a shape. Choose a shape. Triangle, 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 triangle. And this just becomes the picture. It doesn't need to look like something. We talk about non-representational, abstract art, that this is a finished painting. We don't have to do anything more to it. If you need to extend it, they can do designs on lines, like a dotted line on the wavy line. You can sneak an extra dashed line in somewhere. You can fill the space. If there's a lot of extra time, the class has been really quiet and relaxed, and they finished a lot and you have a lot of time left, you can just have them work on painting in the lines until there's no white spots. We usually don't have time to do this in 40 minutes, and we just have to move on to the next lesson because we only have 35 lessons to finish kindergarten art curriculum. So I usually don't have time for this. You can make this an extension if you wanted and go back day 2 and paint in everything. But this can be really hard for some kids to slow down and paint next to their lines. Sometimes I've done it that this is done with a black Sharpie or a black crayon, black marker, and then they paint in every single stripe. So this could be very hard for them at this age to do this. But if you know your student, like if you're teaching a homeschool class and you know your students could do this, go for it. And then that could be a way to slow them down and extend the lesson at the same time. You would just keep going, filling it in. If you are getting value from this, please like the video and subscribe. It helps the right people find the videos. Subscribing is free. And join us with our different playlists and series that we're doing on the channel. If you would like to give feedback, when I turn the video on as a video for kids, the comments get turned off, so you can join us in the Facebook group. Art Teacher may even hang out to give feedback about how I can improve the channel and give you more of what you need and want. Thank you. Bye.